Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Sports Talk with me, Recap. What's going on, man? Giants, the New York Giants ownership group. You know the Mara and the Titch, but John Mara was the one who's been running the team, and the Titch tend to fall back because they're focused on other stuff, and they let John Mara handle the football, the day-to-day operation of football. But John Mara right now in the ownership group, they're not in speaking terms. They're not trying to, on camera, of course. Joe Shine, the GM, Joe Shane, whatever, the GM. You see them together, but off camera, they're not messing with this guy. They don't even talk to him. They're passing him in the hallway, no conversation. The only reason that didn't, John Mara didn't fire him, the Titch wanted him fired. But John Mara, he's cheap. He's not one of those guys. He's a rare billionaire he doesn't have all this billions, but I'm just saying he's still a billionaire. But he's one of those guys who doesn't like to spend money like that. He don't like to waste money like that. So if the contract is up, you don't see him firing coaches left and right like that. Except was it 2 years ago? They move on before they hire Brian Dable, who they told the Mars told Brian Dable they're not blaming him for the season. It's just poor management by George Shane, who's the general manager, George Shine, whatever it is. But but the Giants looking at it, I mean, the Mars and the Titcher, they're looking at Saquon Barkley jumping over people backward all over every week for the Eagles. Still in his prime. The second leading rusher in the NFL with 1,137 yards. In 10 games, the guy have 197 attempt for 1,137 yards, 5.8 yards per carry, eight touchdowns, eight rushing touchdowns, right? Eight rushing touchdowns. 23 reception, right? 210 yard receiving, right? He averaged 9.1 yard per catch, and two touchdowns for the Eagles. So of course, the Eagles the Eagles are happy to have Saquon Barkley. You know what I mean? But they're looking at it right now. He's on a conversation for MVP level when their quarterback the Joe Shine's the one that went to the Mars and the Titch to push for Daniel Jones to get that huge contract they give him. You give the guy almost $200+ million or $200+ million you give him. You know what I mean? Almost close to $300 million. You give him all this money, so he had to go to their office to sit down to campaign for Daniel Jones. And even though that all the game they were winning with Saquon Barkley, so he told them that, hey, we all know the story. We see the video, but for those of you who haven't seen it, where John Mara is telling Joe Shane, this is he's the top level, running back. What I mean? Joe Shane thought that Saquon Barkley was old, nobody was gonna give him a contract, whatever. And they could lowball him, so he elected to give Daniel Jones a big contract when he didn't deserve it. So you give him this big contract. Now you stuck with him, and every weekend they watching Saquon Barkley, the ownership, the Titch and the Mars, they watching Saquon Barkley jumping over people backwards, and this is what we get in. So this guy's just jumping over people, doing all of the above. And you know what I mean? To do what he does, 197 attempts, 1,137 yards, 8 touchdowns, 5.8 yards per carry, which is a lot. As a Jets fan, you got Breece Hall with 600 yards. Listen, I'm 46 years old. You give me the amount of attempt that you give Breece Hall, I'll probably have 1,000+ yards already at 46. So it is disappointment when you watch players who can't even wasting time, and you watch management who mismanage, don't know what they're doing. Joe Shine, the only reason he's not fired because the Titch want him fired. But John Mara is not, again, he's cheap. He's not one of those billionaires. The Titch are millionaires. They're multi-millionaires. So, but together, both the Titch and the Mars, they're multi-millions. But combined income, combined to own a team, they're billionaires. That's what it is. So they're billion assets based on the team. But anyway, at the end of the day, the Titch want Joe Shane to be fired. But the owner, John Mara, who's primarily running the team, he's not trying to leave money on the table. But they're not in speaking terms. So if it's not on camera, he's walking past all the ownership group, walking past the GM. He's saying hello to them. They don't even talk to him unless So they have no credit. They don't believe that that he could do anything for the team at this point. You know what I mean? Yes, John Mara went on camera saying that both Brian Daboll, the head coach, and Joe Shine, the GM, is coming back 2025. But they were very short leash. Very short leash. And the only way to bring a spark, which is why Joe Shine's doing everything possible, he's begging Deion Sanders to let Shedeur Sanders go to the Giants for them to get that pick. He's talking to every NFL executive trying to get that pick, and but the Raiders are gonna beat him to it. But what the Giants will do, they're gonna cut bait with Daniel Jones after the season. They're gonna cut him, right? And they will save $78 million. That's $78 million they will have to pay him because 2025 he was due $25 million. I mean $30 million. So they're not trying to pay him that money. But the team cutting him, they're gonna carry a dead cap hit of $22.2 million for next year. But if they cut him before June 1st, so they have between June 1st or March 1st to cut him. And most likely, being that they don't want anything to do with him, they're just gonna cut him and move on. But they've told Brian Daboll, he got to do a better job at coaching. Yeah, they're not blaming him entirely for the season, but because they knew that the card he was dealt, so they're not blaming him for the entire season. But he is on a short leash, and the GM also on a short leash. And the only reason that Joe Shine, the Giant GM, didn't get fired this year right now is because of the money. Because they know that, okay, he's under contract, you fire him, you still got to pay him, and then hire another GM and pay them. So they're not in the business to lose money like that. And I know sometimes you don't want to see the person. You're like, I'd rather just pay you to get the heck out of there. But then you still got to pay somebody else, and they're still on your payroll. It doesn't mean when you fire them, they're gone. They're still on your payroll. You still got to pay them. So they're not trying to do that. The Giants are not trying to do that. To still pay two GMs and pay two coaches next year. They're not trying to do that. So they still paying what's his name? He was the head coach before Brian Daboll, because they didn't pay him up front. They dragged the money the same way the Jets still paying Robert Saleh. He's making millions of dollars. Even though he's no longer with the team, they still pay him. So they carry that money all the way through, which is ridiculous. But at the end of the day, the Giants ownership, they have nothing to say to the GM. They don't want anything to do with him. He's in the building. They pass him every morning. There's no conversation. That's sad, man. Anyway, man, sports talk. Like, subscribe, and share, man. Peace out.